How's it going, everyone? Mufara here. Welcome to Heliopolis Radio. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you've had a blessed week thus far. We're back at it again with the personal vlogs. Normally, I kind of freestyle these so that you guys know, so there's no kind of there's no set plan or anything. Sorry, my hands are ashy as fuck, but we've been working all day in the garden, so it is what it is. In the last personal vlog, I spoke about, the last two vlogs in particular, I've been talking about addiction and kind of exploring its nature, kind of just through the way I've assessed my own personal experiences and battles with addiction. But today I thought I'll switch it up. The title of the topic of discussion today, or really the thing that came to mind, was just humble yourself first. The reason why I say humble yourself first is because, the last few weeks and a bit, the last few years, life has been quite humbling, to say the very least, in good and bad ways. Probably maybe more on the bad side, but also more recently, at least on the good side. It's funny because, we think we have a lot of things figured out, but life is always one step ahead, right? And it's always when you at the peak of a mountain, when you don't realize you're about to have to, face the bottom of the next. And I didn't come up with that shit on my own. It's funny, that's the actual quote was by an old man. I forgot what his name is. He's an actor, and he was receiving an award. And I remember that he actually said that, remember, for every peak of a mountain, at the peak of every mountain is the base of another. And so, the reason why that kind of ties in with humble yourself first in is because a lot of the at times we think, we figure shit out. We think we're at a point of clarity. And life has a funny way of making us realize just how very little we know, how very little we're in control of our situations. I used to like to think I had not a sober head on my shoulders, but at least one with a bit more awareness. But and because of that awareness, I thought I had, in quotation marks, I thought that navigating life would be a whole lot more easier than it actually ends up manifesting as, or at least as life ends up coming about. And so the reason why I say this is because, a lot of the times our ideas and our beliefs kind of distort the inherent nature of things. After, a lot of kind of reflection and personal experiences, I've realized there's like a universal hierarchy to this shit. None of us are above life, really aren't. And it's often, life comes at a point where we think we are most in control, or most comfortable, with ourselves, with what we think, what we envision, with what we plan, and what we anticipate. And this is not to kind of kill, dreams and ambitions and contentment and any of those things, but it's also just, for me, humble yourself first was a stark reminder of how, we're nothing more than just a life process within a universal life process. Just a micro component of a much bigger machine, if that sounds right. Not to be all matrixy and everything, but yeah, almost like a matrix. We're just a component in this grand machine, and no matter how much we are in our own process, in our own world, in our own space, this grand machine has its own, I guess I don't want to say plans, but its own momentum and its own direction. And humility tends to manifest most when we are disentuned with the grand direction, and you can think of this grand direction in whatever, works in your mind. You think of it as God. You can think of it as, source. You can think of it as nature, the cosmic cycle of things. And so, I've been learning more now to incorporate that humility first, more and more every day, it's becoming apparent to me, especially with the situation, that, I mean, currently, like the world that the world's facing, and that, I'm personally facing in my own life, is that, yeah, man, we're just a process within a grander process, and one, it's our responsibility to make the most out of our process, but two, it's also our responsibility to not forget that we're just a process in a grander process, and humility is the excellent teacher there, isn't it? For all of us, for those who are, for those of us who are ignorant, for those of us who are, semi-ignorant, and for those of us who are quite clear, it doesn't matter what spectrum you're on. Humility tends to to find a way to find a way into all of our homes at some point in time, and yeah, no, I was wondering if any of you guys would like share some of your perspectives and idea on humility. Humility could just be a principle to some of you. Humility can just be, something that you practice. It could be an action. For some of you, it could be universal law. For some of you, it could be a religious. It could be part of the religious paradigm. For some of us, it could be a philosophy. But yeah, no, please do let me know. Share your thoughts. I'm keen to see what you guys think about that, and how you have handled humility in your life. And you don't have to go into detail into some of the ways it manifests, because it comes in a myriad of ways. Sometimes good ways, sometimes very shitty ways, and we call that life, right? So yeah, no, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you have a blessed rest of the week. Take it easy, and I shall be continuing on with these personal vlogs. Thank you.